All right. So Zhang defended her title for the first time since regaining it against Esparza. First title defense. Now I got this prediction wrong. I picked Lemos. But I already see the pattern that is developing online in the comments of people saying that Lemos was not worthy. No. No. See, that's the problem with saying that before the fight. No, that was not the case. I mean, did you see how strong or how much stronger Weili looked than Lemos? I mean, you have to admit that Lemos' physical strength, where was that? Where was that? She's always been strong. She's always been strong. So no, that don't work either. No, that was just a strong performance. And now people are saying, oh, she wasn't a worthy opponent anyways. Silly. That is silly. And that's just terrible. It's terrible, man. Now, the wrestling just destroyed Amanda Lemos. That's what it was. It destroyed her. Now, Weili almost got submitted. She came close to getting submitted, which is something that I said that would be a problem. Something she'd have to look out for. And I think she went for a guillotine or something like that too, but she almost had some kind of choke, maybe a ninja choke or something like that, but could not finish the fight. That was the only time Weili looked in trouble. Now, Weili ate a couple shots. I think it was like in the first or second round. She ate a couple clean shots. But she took them. She was not hurt. She took them and kept fighting. Now, to me, Weili's offense, it was more effective than Lemos' offense, but it didn't look all that effective, for whatever reason. More effective than Lemos, but not as effective as I thought it might have. Thought it might have been, if she had her moments on the feet, would be big for Weili. That's what I thought. But a lot of her punches were missing. A lot of them were coming up short from Weili on the feet. She was missing a lot of shots. Now, I don't know those strike stats, if they were landed or whatever, but a lot of those landed strikes come from that ground and pound, where she was beating on Lemos repeatedly. And that's pretty much what won her fight. Wrestling, getting her down, beating on her. I believe Lemos expected a tactical fight. That's what I believe. On the feet. That's what I believe. But she was ready to take it to the mat. But she wasn't ready. She was ready but wasn't ready. Wrestling was just too much from Weili. Way too much. She wasn't reversed or nothing. For the most part, it was just Weili and her wrestling. Now, Weili probably she definitely won most of the striking, but some of that striking was sort of, she wasn't as dominant over Lemos as she was when she had her down or up against the fence or whatever. She had 2 submission attempts. The first one, she came close. I'm talking about Lemos. The second time, she never really got it in at all. And it was really like nothing. That was the most trouble Weili was in that I can remember. She was never on top. Lemos was never on top. This was a big victory, at least in my eyes. A lot of people downplayed Lemos before the fight, so they're still downplaying her, so no surprise there. But, people can think what they want. I'm not attacking people. If you think Lemos was an unworthy contender, okay, fine. Hey, I'm not going to get anything out of lecturing you on why you shouldn't believe that. Believe whatever you want. Don't mean that much to me. But I believe that this was a big, big victory and that she's more likely now to make more defenses because we didn't know. We just didn't know. But against a fighter like Yan, it's almost certain that the Weili's wrestling will give Yan problems. It's almost certain. And that's always something that Weili can go to, because Weili might lose on the feet against Yan. I suspect some fighters can match Weili's striking. They can have their moments against her. Why shouldn't I believe that? Joanna did. Okay? She did. And Weili was hit clean twice that I can remember. At least that's what stands out. There's 2 clean shots. And they were looping shots. I don't even know how she got hit by those. No idea. But I was happy. Look, I was entertained. I don't care what people thought, whatever. Snooze fest. Yeah, I've seen the comments. I don't care what people thought. I was entertained. Now, I feel like that was a dominant victory, but the wild card right now is still Tatiana Suarez. We don't know if Weili will lose. Once again, that's a fight you just don't know whether or not Weili will make it a successful defense. And really, same with shall not. So I want to see where or who it will be. I think it should be Jan. It should be Jan. And listen, I know that there are going to be some Whaley fans who come and say, hey, Addict, how do you feel? You were wrong about your prediction. Okay? They're going to tell me to explain myself and where I was wrong and why I didn't foresee Whaley muscling around Lemos. And hey, I did not foresee it. I did not foresee it. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I could not have predicted that and felt comfortable. I could have, but I wouldn't have felt confident that it would in fact happen. So Whaley still surprises at least me, because like if she can do that to her, she can do that with anybody. She didn't have much time to show it against Andrade, but most likely Whaley can even wrestle Andrade around. You know, take her down repeatedly like Suarez did. The thing is it smart to take Suarez down like that? Or can you stop Suarez from taking you down? That's the thing. And another thing is something that somebody, I can't remember who, mentioned. Whaley's takedown ability is much better than Lemos. Yeah, Lemos has some takedowns. She took Rodriguez down. It was a funny looking takedown where she threw Rodriguez down first. She's taken a few fighters down. Amanda Lemos. But Whaley has better technique with her trips, which is, I think, that Sonda, right? Sonda takedowns. They involve a lot of trips. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that stands out. Sonda involves a lot of trips. So, Lemos could not deal with that. And Whaley looked strong, a lot stronger than Lemos. So that's a big problem for everybody. You know, to have found that out, that can't be encouraging. Okay? Now look, Tisha Torres, I mean, who is there now? It's like nobody but Suarez left. Now, other fighters can beat Whaley. It's just a big chance that Whaley wins. That, you know, she beats Carla if they rematch. Rose won't be here. Jan, you know, Jan is not, she's not a wrestler yet. I don't think she is good at stopping or defending wrestling. Any type of wrestling move. She can get back to her feet. but she'll get taken right back down. Lemos was like the wild card, but now it's only Suarez. And as you can see, Weili can be caught in a submission. That was close. Let's be honest now. Okay. I know people, you're happy about Weili. Hey, knock yourself out. I'm happy too. I'm excited. I hope she make a more defense. If she does, wow. I mean, she looking better than a lot of other champions and former champions right now, having made a title defense and been a 2-time champion. So she's racking up the accolades. Gotta at least give her that much. Say, how come Yan Xiaonan can do Sanda correctly? She can't grapple at all. Yeah, it's crazy. No takedowns from Yan. She took, no, that's not true. She took somebody down. She took, I think, Carolina down. Right. I think she took Carolina down. But, yeah, she's not prolific at it. It's not her thing. It needs to be. Or at least be good at defending it. You're going to have to deal with it if you fight for the title. So Weili is very strong, man. The strength, look at how she controlled Lemos. When she was on the ground, look at how she controlled her. That was a lot of brute physical strength. A lot of it. So that's disheartening. It can't give the other girls a lot of courage. So Lemos, I think, will always be vulnerable to Weili's wrestling. And you have to assume that she be vulnerable to Suarez wrestling and would likely lose that as well. So maybe Suarez has a point, but I think Suarez beats Lemos, but we don't know if Suarez beats Weili. She goes and tries to take Weili down. She herself could get submitted or ground and pound. Okay, so we don't know what's going to happen. So that is like the biggest fight that could be made, because she's undefeated. Even with, even though those are just 2 big fights for Weili, they're much bigger than this was against Lemos. You see, financially, the one against Yan would almost certainly be in China. Oh yeah. They would try their best. They would try their best to get something booked in China if it were against Yan. Or in Asia, at least in Asia. And anywhere in Asia, it would do good. It would definitely do good. It would do well. And against Suarez, there you go, an undefeated Suarez. Can Weili crack Suarez code? Huh? And if she can't, she loses her title and goes down as yet another victim of Tatiana Suarez. See? We've seen fighters fight Weili and come out the victor. We haven't seen anybody fight Suarez and come out the victor. So that's a big fight for Weili as a champion, a sitting champion. And who knows, maybe that could be in China as well. Now, Natalia Silva beat up Andrea Lee. Andrea Lee was very bloody. But you know what? I don't mean to sound critical, but I think Silva showed some vulnerabilities in that fight. I believe she had a hard time landing meaningful shots on Lee. Penetrating Lee's defense. I thought Silva was having problems penetrating Andrea Lee's defense for long stretches of that fight. A lot of strikes got through, but I think she broke her nose with a jab. And she was hurt, it looks like, with a jab. Hurt, stumbled, broke her nose. She's bleeding everywhere, and bled the whole fight. It's dripping on her legs, and she gets tattooed throughout the whole fight. Now, she landed a couple shots, but Silva could not stop her. So, I don't know. It was a pretty dominant victory for Silva. But I feel like that fight might give some other fighters something to work with. Something to say, hey, because for long stretches, Lee was okay. You heard Andrea Lee's coach, he was very confident in Lee's chances of winning the fight. Now, I know he's paid to believe in his fighter. I understand that. But he does not have to. They're also honest. And I think he was being honest when he said that she was showing you. He said to Andrea Lee, he said, Natalia Silva is showing you too much respect. More respect than she needs to. And I felt like that was true. Silva seemed to show Lee a lot of respect. More than she needed to. But I don't know. Natalia just could not get in or penetrate Lee's defense easy enough for her comfort. So there was a lot of feints, dancing on the outside by Silva. And she could not finish Andrea Lee, despite having her very bloody. So, I don't know. I know it's a risky prediction, but I worry about Silva's mental game and her ability to be on the night, to be mentally there on fight night. She looked kind of flustered in there to me. Like she was making that fight harder than it needed to be, than she needed to. That was a much easier fight for Silva than she made it. That's what it seemed like to me. So we'll see if anybody else can capitalize on that, or if that's a thing or not. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's not a thing at all. But that's what I felt as I watched the fight. And that's all I'm here to do. Let y'all know what I think and felt. Now, Kareem Silva. I got these two predictions correct. Okay, let me take that credit right there. Thank you very much. First round finish for Silva. Morrows. Wait a minute. Hold up. Morrows. They're playing music. Taps at the bell, basically. She had like 1 second left. She had to have lost track of time. She had to have. Because I believe she would have probably held on. But she was in trouble. She wasn't getting out of that. But that's a legit loss. Now, Kareem Silva, in the UFC, if I'm not mistaken, is 4-4. In the UFC. Isn't that right? 4 fights, 4 victories, 4 stoppages. Is that right? Is that right? In the UFC. No. It's 3. But 1 stoppage on the Contender Series. So, some people count those. And that was a tough fighter. Right? But she's on a long stoppage streak. 100%. That's noteworthy. And first round all of her UFC victories, first round submissions. So she's still scary. Silva still has this scary thing going on where you wonder who can give her a challenge. Now, at moments, it looked like she was shadow boxing in there. Like she was having problems managing her distance. That's what it looked like in a lot of moments. Don't know what that was all about. But she cracked Morrow's with a hard punch and sat her down, showing serious power. That's the power that I have talked about. It's one punch power. When she lands, man, these fighters better be careful. Morrow's, you got to be more careful than that. These fighters getting their heads all trapped in guillotines. Man, I don't know what y'all thinking. Her jiu-jitsu looks next level. It's pretty crazy for the women. Weili didn't have this type of win streak in their first 3 fights. Most girls don't. Not in the UFC. So, I don't know. That's a big deal to me. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. You say his channel used to be all praise Weili. No. I praised Weili even while picking Lemos. You know, that's the thing. But I've always been critical of Weili too. One of my earliest videos, I'm talking about how she leaves her head on center line. She still does that. She got hit tonight. And she lucky she didn't get hurt. She got hit tonight. Right. And she lucky she didn't get hurt. Right. Yes. She could have got hurt just like Morrow's got hurt. But she don't hit as hard as Silva, I guess. Maybe. But, you know, Lemos has looked dangerous. Very above average dangerous, you know, in the UFC. But Weili beat her in a way she hasn't been beaten yet. We have not seen anybody do that to Lemos. We sort of seen somebody do it to Weili, and that was Rose. In the latter part of their rematch. You know, so, you know, there's some slack to be cut. We've never seen anybody do that to Lemos, so that's a feather in Weili's cap. I mean, totally out wrestled her. It wasn't competitive at all. At all. About 2 submission attempts. Aside from that, nothing, pretty much. Nothing for Lemos. And yeah, she looked bad in that loss, Lemos. Like, almost like she was shut out and didn't show up. Now, I don't think she didn't show up like she was sick or nothing like that. She was just shut out by the wrestling. She couldn't deal with it. It's just too much. And it looked like she got tired fast. She looked real tired by the 3rd round to me. So much like she couldn't knock Weili out, even if she landed. And really the 2nd round, when she actually landed those shots. But once Lemos sort of lost her ability to knock Weili out, I thought it was Weili's fight. Like, Weili's striking is good enough to survive and actually win moments striking, and that she could take her down pretty much whenever she wanted. Right? Whenever she wanted. So I got into that mode where I felt like one fighter had the fight, and I expected them to continue winning the fight. I got to that point with the fight with Weili. Like, okay, Lemos about to lose another round because she couldn't stay away from the takedown. She couldn't stuff. I don't think she stuffed any of them, did she? I think she might have gotten up a couple times, but she was taken right back down. Really had no defense for the wrestling. She would get put on her back, get beaten on badly. She was in that crucifix that she had Carla in, and she was beating on her. She couldn't stretch her out for a choke or nothing. But Lemos didn't have a moment like that. Any type of moment like that. No ground and pound moments for Lemos at all. And just no takedowns, She does not have Weili's takedown ability. Or she's not as mindful. She don't even go for them. She doesn't even try. It's just strictly striking or basically nothing. She don't really go for fancy takedowns, Lemos. She's gotten them, but they're always some type of tricky thing. I don't know. Interesting fight. I thought I enjoyed it. So I don't know about nobody else. Yeah, Weili is smart. She's very smart. Yeah, she's more mature with how she fights, how she executes. Maybe her defense can be better, but if she doesn't get knocked out, she's always a problem, Weili. So, but that's very good for her that she beat Lemos like that, because she dominated her where nobody's confident in Lemos' chances in a rematch. was not a freak ending or nothing like that. So, Jan, I think, would lose. Don't know about Suarez. Andrade, yeah, would lose. We'll see what happens. That division might sort of dry up real soon. There won't really be anybody after Jan and Suarez, unless Rose comes back and Carla fight for a rematch. They need to remove her, as somebody else pointed out. They need to remove Carla. But if they don't, her motherhood or pregnancy is going to take her out of the game. You know, some women I don't think can handle it, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see what Weili can do. She could have a fun title run. I thought this was a fun matchup. Fun matchup. Too bad some people are going to look at it as a cakewalk, a free fight for Weili. I see those people as casuals. I'm sorry. You don't see the danger level that Lemos has shown up to this fight. I'm sorry. I cannot wrap my head around that. Oh no, one man's opinion. That is all for this live stream.